Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So this is going to be a moderately quick video. I just want to quickly talk about the TCG, the Genshin Impact TCG coming in patch 3.3 with Scaramouche and Farazan's release. I want to quickly talk about some concerns that I have about this game mode, but before we get into that, I do want to say that this is not hating on the game mode. This video, I'm not trying to detract people from trying to enjoy the game mode. This is just me pointing out some concerns because I have no doubt in my mind that this game mode will be amazing. You'll have a lot of fun doing it, interacting with a lot of the different cards, experiencing the different enemies, the different decks that you can maybe make, the different compositions, and all this stuff, the reactions that they have. No doubt about it in my mind that this will be an absolutely stellar game mode to play. But with that now said, I do still have some concerns about the longevity of the game mode. I may call it an event in this by accident. I do apologize. Game mode event, that's what I mean essentially. I have some concerns about the longevity of the event slash game mode. Now, as we all know, it is a permanent game mode being added to Genshin, and MiHoYo has extensively said that they are not adding a kind of competitive player versus player aspect to it. It is mainly sticking to the player versus enemy or player versus NPC, PvE if you want to call it that. They are exclusively sticking to that kind of game mode or game style to not add quote-unquote stress to the player, so they can just go in and have some fun against the random NPCs that you'll encounter in the world. Now that's great, that's fine and dandy. Obviously, not having some sort of competitive side can reduce a bit of the longevity because, you know, battling the same NPC can get quite boring and repetitive. Obviously, if you learn how the NPC plays and if there's not too much RNG involved, you can kind of read the character or read the NPC like a book and predict all their moves, but that's a very extreme case. The areas that really hinder the longevity of this is some information that I got from a few leaks through my Discord. Join it if you want, link in the description. Some leaks that I saw about there not being any resetting rewards, weekly resetting incentive, if you will, on a weekly basis with the event or with the game mode. Now, this little picture that's on the screen is kind of the Primogem estimate, I believe, of all the Primogems that you can get in the next patch. But if we look at the bottom, this is the most important part. If we look at the bottom, you'll see that it says essentially the new game mode does not have any frequently resetting Primogem rewards. It specifically says Primogems. I'm more concerned about rewards in general, but this one says Primogems, but no frequently resetting Primogems rewards like the Spiral Abyss. So that means that this is going to be a one and done kind of game mode. Now, that's not a big problem, to be quite frank with you, as long as it's done correctly. But another concern that I have is that it's very similar to the Teapot system. Now, if you played when the Teapot was released, you'll know the formula. The Teapot was released on the patch, I can't remember what patch, but it was released on a patch, and it was super popular for that patch. People were playing it constantly, people were building stuff, and people still do build things, but it was really big during its release patch. A lot of people were getting rewards, and there was an incentive to go into the Teapot, but once you reached the max level of the Teapot, once you got a lot of the furniture, and once you got a lot of the Primogems from putting your characters into certain furniture sets, you had no reason to go back to the Teapot. There was really no reason to go back there unless you wanted to kind of decorate. But there's no value to going back there. It's, you know, self-placed value, but no actual value, no item value, no reason value. And that's something that I fear the TCG will also suffer from. As we know, there is going to be a level system where you verse enemies, you do tasks, and you level up. I believe level 10 is the max level. I cannot confirm that, but I believe it's something around there, like the Teapot system, level 10. And each level you get Primogems as a reward, which is nice. And you may get rewards from, you know, defeating certain NPCs. You get a Primogem, you know, 30 Primogems for defeating each NPC for the first time, as well as obviously achievements and whatnot. The usual system, you get achievement lists and whatnot. And there's going to be a lot of Primogems for the one and done playstyle, but absolutely no mention of any incentive to replay the system. And I fear this because as much as, you know, the Teapot system is great, it has its own audience where, you know, the decorators, the interior designers, the aesthetically pleasing designing people, they can go there and have a bit of fun with the the teapot system, and they can make whatever they want. But this card game is a very, very good thing because it looks very in-depth, but I fear that the lack of reason to constantly come back and play it is going to deter a lot of people from wanting to play it because they're not actually getting anything out of it, apart from the satisfaction of making a super strong team. But then again, there's nowhere to really use this team because there's no ladder, there's no competitive, there's no rewards to be gotten. All you've got is a kind of PvP 1v1 situation where you're put up against a random player in varying skill levels, because I doubt there's also going to be a skill-based matchmaking or anything along those lines. So you're just going to be versing random players who either have no idea how to play the game or are extremely good at playing the TCG. Now, the simple solution to this one is going to be done probably by the fan community or the streaming community or the YouTubing community, the content creators. They're probably going to make their own tournaments. They're going to get like a whole like a tournament array, a full like thingy. Content creators are going to come in. It's going to be like a competition. I have no doubt about it that that's what's going to happen to create some sort of hype about the TCG. But there's only so much that you can do with that before, you know, you can't include everyone. Not everyone's getting a fair chance in terms of competing and whatnot. And so, you know, that's obviously going to happen a few times and then it's going to die down. And so that leaves us in a position of everyone's played this event, everyone's had a good time, and now it slowly fades away, much like the teapot system does. Unless you're into interior designing, you don't really do the teapot system anymore. You go in, you claim your resin, you claim your tokens, and then you leave. You don't go in there for anything else. And I fear the TCG will suffer from that as well. I fear that people will play the TCG for maybe the first week of its release patch, and then they'll dry up all the content that it has to offer and all the rewards that it has to offer, and then you won't play it for the rest of the patch until they add expansion cards, maybe an extra 5 or 6 cards per patch or per every so often. They'll add a bunch of other cards where if you collect them, you get a few extra rewards, and then you won't play it for the rest of that patch until they add more cards. Essentially, like the teapot system, where you only really come back when you get a new character that you can then get more Primogems from. And that is my fear. That's what I wanted to point out in this video, is that I have a severe fear and concern that that TCG system, this really good system that they're adding to Genshin, will just kind of fade away after one patch, because it looks really good from the gameplay that we saw. It has an in-depth reaction system, a card system, an RNG system, 3 characters, spells, cards, bangs, bings, bongs. It has the whole shebang, but I fear that it will just be forgotten after one patch. I just wanted to bring awareness to this topic. I don't know, not many people are talking about the TCG, probably because it's not out yet, and I don't want to put a verdict on the quality of the game mode. I will probably play the game mode when it comes out and probably put out another video about it. But I just wanted to bring concerns about the longevity of it, because I feel like that's very important at this point. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.